Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Princess Angel baby girl. Hey Sandy. Hey Shenanigan Maker. We finished kind of fast last time and I thought I took care of everything and I thought I'll hop on for a little bit more. No, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. We're back. Hey alternate juror. I was just listening. I thought I'd try to figure out that share screen thing. I won't put you guys through it, I promise. But I just started to listen to that interview that we're going to look at on Friday. And I noticed something that I hadn't noticed before. I've only watched it a couple times anyway, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that it's going to be like, huh? But I noticed something. Christopher Watt's brother in law said that his wife slept on the couch and he slept evidently in the guest room or in the bedroom or whatever. But think about this. Remember how she was asking the lawyer all about divorce, right? And remember how in the first week of July, she told the hairstylist that she was getting divorced and looking forward to being single again, right? So then when he came to North Carolina, he slept in the bed, she slept on the couch. Well, maybe they both knew something that they hadn't yet told anybody, right? Ooh, Shenanigan Maker's getting all cozy. Hi, my lovely Boo Boo Bear. About sleeping on the couch, Tipsy Toes? Or about how the divorce was actually pending and they just hadn't told anyone? I keep saying I don't think that relationship over the summer was all that big of a deal. I really don't. I just don't. I think by then they were already split. I think that's why his look, his expression when she did that whole video about being pregnant, I think his expression was pretty much like, what? And he may have even wondered if she was just faking it for the MLM, right? Because those MLMs tell you to make videos about all sorts of stuff, right? Shenanigan Maker says every chance she got, she had to throw in babywise like she was name dropping a celebrity or doing the impossible. Exactly. Alternate juror says that her leaving for 6 weeks speaks volumes. It does. Exactly. You don't take two little ones that far away over the summer from their parent who takes care of them every day, right? Hi, Lee. The less sleep, the worse the parent. That's why she constantly bragged on the sleeping and baby wise. Her only parenting goal was to beat every other mom with how much her girls slept because in her eyes that meant she was the best parent. Exactly. When your whole life is faked, it probably gets hard to tell the difference. I think that when they were sleeping was, I guess, like so many of the videos, I don't think she realized that people who were actually parenting their children probably listened to her and thought, what the heck is your problem, lady? You know? But again, just my opinion, I don't think she had very many close friends close enough to say, hey, this is weird. Sapphire says, we all noticed his demeanor except her. That oops, we did it again was cringe, in my opinion. I agree, Sapphire. Cosmo says, I thought the reason for leaving that long was because there was no money for daycare. I do believe that's why she had to go to North Carolina. But I think going to North Carolina for that long is a sign of something about the state of the marriage, too, right? And I'll tell you what else. You know, that ongoing family matter court hearing was coming up, and I don't think it was any surprise with the already limited access, according to the people who insist that there was an open CPS case. So maybe that last 5 or 6 weeks was actually kind of like a last hurrah. Shenanigan Maker says, oh, it was definitely a trial separation. And then I think in that last week or so, she realized, you know, maybe she finally figured out how to do the math and realized there was no way she was going to make it on $111 a month income. Think about this. $111 income plus whatever, in my opinion, disability paycheck, right? Or disability check. I shouldn't call it a paycheck. But think about it. If she's on disability making 16, 17, 18,000 in incoming, plus she was buying a bunch of MLM products to try to get a check for $100 a month, she would have had to have been spending $500 to $600 a month to get that $100 a month, right? So she was already down to what, $1,200, $1,100? Well, 12, because she would get that 100 back. She can't even get an apartment with that. Mama Bear says a healthy marriage can survive 6 weeks apart. Of course it can. But when you have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, do you think it's really smart? When you have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old who depend on their father on a daily basis to pick them up from daycare, to fix them dinner, to give them their baths, to put them to bed, to fold their laundry, to wash their laundry, to clean the house, to play with them, to read to them, do you think it's smart to say, see you, Dad, see you later, we'll see you in 5 weeks, have a nice summer? I don't think so. Alternate juror says the video of the girls, Bella says, don't take Cece away from me. Then she tells Cece not to be scared. That is very concerning, alternate juror. I agree. Cosmo says, yeah, she finally realized she was between a rock and a hard place. Shenanigan Maker says, why was she even looking at homes to buy or rent? Exactly. There's no way she could have purchased anything at all. Shenanigan Maker says it doesn't make sense. Shenanigan Maker says, Mensa, has Cindy ever told you why Shenan couldn't pick them up from school? No, she has not. Tipsy Toes. Her mom also said she was looking at houses to rent when she was there. Well, I sure don't know how on earth she would have ever found a house to rent. Abby says, I have a 2-year-old son and wouldn't want to spend 6 days apart from husband. No way. No way in hell 6 weeks. Exactly. Exactly. And that's a 2-year-old. Just imagine a 3-year-old, right? A 4.5, almost 5-year-old. You don't take them away from their other parent for 5 weeks straight. Mama Bear says, oh, I'm not saying it was wise, LOL, but I see so many people say that nobody just takes a trip like that without their spouse. When you have 2 small children, typically you don't. I would say normal would be 1 to 2 weeks and more like 1 week, but I've seen 2 weeks a lot over the summer when the kids aren't in school or anything. 6 weeks, or actually it would have been 5 weeks, right? Because he was flying in for the 6th week. I don't think so. Isabel says maybe she had another CW in the making, or maybe she thought she did and had a plan. Abby says Shenan was living in a dream world. She had no common sense. I agree. Carol says being at her parents' house during July was a wake-up call. She didn't want to live with mommy and daddy. Shenanigan Maker says her parents couldn't help her rent. They have, oh, do they? So she didn't have anyone close to her that could even co-sign. Alternate juror says, I agree, Carol. Alternate juror says her family knew they were having marriage problems. Carol says she didn't want to end up living back at her parents' house again with 3 kids. I don't think she would have ended up with 3 kids. I really don't. I think Christopher Watts would have gotten custody of Bella and Cece. Shenanigan Maker says you can tell her mental capacity solely off her poor grammar in her posts. Were you here, Shenanigan Maker, when we were talking about the possibility that her diagnosis may have been something including like splits or multiple? Because that's one thing I've wondered about is her limited vocabulary. But if she had splits, then that might help explain it. Tipsy Toe says, I know I'm sorry. Her getting mad at Chris's parents for leaving her alone with the kids tells me something isn't right. Exactly. Shenanigan Maker says they filed bankruptcy too. Isabel says, yes, wouldn't put anything past that person. Alternate Juror says, I believe her mental illness was out of control and not one person did anything to help her. I agree. I think that when she went to North Carolina, I think she was still pregnant. And I think that the pregnancy affected her. And I think that her behavior over the summer was not in line with cooperating with a family plan. And I think that the people who claimed that there were social workers visiting the house regularly in North Carolina saying that there were issues are probably telling the truth. It's believable. It seems to me that it's reasonable to believe that that ongoing family matter court hearing that was coming up was not going to be pretty. Sheila says she made some Facebook comment about the love of her life. She wasn't talking about CW. Isabel says, pregnant from who? Shenanigan Maker says, I thought she thought a certain someone that from now on, Shenanigan Maker's going to use initials, would leave his wife and kids and was the father of the baby. Well, in North Carolina, she found out he wasn't going to leave them. That's why she was looking at homes in North Carolina. And you know, she was looking at homes in North Carolina even before she left. She posted, before she left Colorado, she posted a house on her Facebook about a house in North Carolina. And I looked at that house and I just thought, well, isn't that special? A price range there's no way she could have afforded. Remember, if in 2015, okay, here's the other thing. You know how we were told she was a retired nurse? We were told she was an executive. We were told blah, blah, all sorts of stories, right? But her father-in-law and her boss at the dealership both said that when she left that dealership, and remember, she was only at the dealership for something like 7 months. That's it. 7 months. Who knows if it was even full time. Both her father-in-law and the boss at the dealership, who remained a friend of the family, both of them said when she left the dealership that she started those MLMs. Okay? So that was 2013 because she started there in July of 2012. And then we were told that she left there when she got pregnant with Bella. So in 2015, all of a sudden Christopher Watts has to file a bankruptcy? What? Because in 2013, he bought a house just fine. So why did his name have to be on that bankruptcy? That's bull, I think. But in that much time, $70,000 in unsecured debt? $70,000? Really? Of course, we were told it was all about medical bills. Well, no, it wasn't. So 70 grand, okay? So when she left the dealership, if she started the MLMs, even though I know we're supposed to believe she worked at the Children's Hospital, but you know what? We're told like 3 or 4 different stories about that. We're even told she worked in human resources. She worked at the call center. She worked from home. She this, she that. You know, when you hear so many different versions, it's kind of like Nutgate. You hit a point where you just say, bullshit. If her father-in-law and her boss at the dealership both said that she left the dealership, and that from that point forward, she worked for the MLMs. They never mentioned any job at any children's hospital. The father-in-law and the boss, who remained a friend, never mentioned any job at any hospital at all. Okay, and then in 2015, so we're talking, what, 2 years? 2015, 70 grand in debt, or 70 grand, in the bankruptcy, right? In 2 years, MLMs, probably about what she was spending. Just saying. Think about it. Just think about it. In that paperwork, it showed an income of something like 16 or 17 or something like that. And that one researcher that we had, remember, the one who does the Curious Case of Christopher Watts blog, she claimed that she figured out the whole disability amount that it would be for Colorado, family size, income level, blah, blah, blah. And she said that was the amount listed on the bankruptcy for Christopher Watts' wife. And then there was an additional amount, which was the MLMs, of $111. Oh, hold on. My dog wants in. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. I'm back. Sorry about that. So if you think about it, 111 for the MLM, well, she already had 2 years in, according to her father-in-law and her boss, who remained a good friend. Okay, the very best commission possible, I would think, if we're going to be really generous here, would be 20%. 111, 555. So was she spending around $600 a month for the MLMs? And if she was, what's that do to a disability check? You see what I'm saying? All short, can you hear me now? I had it on mute to let the dog in. That would have been enough money to have her drawings and to, pretend like she was making some money, right? All short says, I can hear you now. So think about that seriously. If she's on disability and making 111, claiming 111, but remember, she's her own customer. Just look at the stash in the basement. Is she basically spending a disability check on multi-level marketing products? Yes, alternate juror, come on up. We need you, alternate juror. We're voting, and everyone's voting for alternate juror to come on up on the panel. Go, 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 go. Come on, you guys, louder. Alternate juror says it's my bedtime, MM. So this makes the whole NK thing kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? This entire time, 2.5 years, over and over again, we're hearing about how he cheated on his wife. Did he really? Three of a Kind says, MLM garbage, that's what she's buying. Watch the Recovering Hunbot video series on Shanann and her involvement in MLMs. She dug deep. The amount of MLM SW was signed up to and involved in was crazy. I know I heard there were like 5 or 6 different MLMs, but I know people are saying like 11 or 12. Isabel says, Tampa Bay. I still think NK was involved. I don't. I'll tell you why. I don't think Christopher Watts mattered all that much to NK, and I don't think NK mattered all that much to Christopher Watts. I think they were both having their summer, I guess. I don't know. But I do think that marriage was long over. Kathy Jo says she probably had every member of her family signed up and bought a package a month. That's $100 times at least 4. So for her and Christopher Watts, it would have been 200, right? And then Cindy Watts said that they did buy it from her. They evidently did buy the products, but they didn't use them, which I think is kind of strange. I mean, bless her heart, I think she was doing it to be very supportive and everything. But I guess if you're not going to use them, I think it's maybe it would have been healthy to say to her, I'm not using this shit. All Short says, it's my bedtime too, but I'm staying up. You want to come up on the panel, All Short? Oh, Shenanigan Maker said unique. Shenanigan Maker said 31. Is 31 the bags? Kathy Jo said she could sign up the kids too. Well, a store owner called me and told me that there were many credit cards in her stack. What's that? It works? Is that an MLM? All Short says, yes, alternate juror, you were the first to welcome me, so you better join the panel. No, alternate jurors going night-night. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Hold on. I missed this. Shenanigan Maker says, it works. 31. Unique. Thrive. I don't know what that other one is. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I think, 13, 14. I'm not sure, but I think I just counted 14. Carol says, I could see Cindy doing that, thinking she's helping by buying those patches. Yes. Yep, that would be her personality, would be, oh, sure, thank you. Yeah, that's great. Smile, smile. And then, ditch him to the back of the cabinet, Marina says, hi, MM. There was a video I saw recently where SW is recruiting her people to buy from other MLMers to help each other out. Ugh, just imagine. I wonder how many of them are on disability checks. Ashley said she forgot Monet. I think that's the one that declined the morning of the tragedy. Is Monet hair care products? Good job, Shenanigan Maker. I've never heard of some of those. Okay, so if Monet's the hair care products, I was wondering, you guys know, those of you who have been listening to the videos for quite a while, for a couple years, you know how I keep saying, what's with the receding hairlines? Because so many people have receding hairlines or have really high foreheads and stuff. And I looked at the way that they're what's it called when you do stuff like you Photoshop? I wonder if maybe they were kind of photoshopping their foreheads. I don't know. Shenanigan Maker says it's 14. Wow. Angie said CW stated that SW could sell your own clothes back to you. Yeah, that's not exactly how. Yeah, that's cute. And then her brother in his police interview says something about how she could sell ketchup to a ketchup factory. I think that's what he said. I don't think that's how that saying goes either. But that was kind of cute. I know that she had people in her life believing she was a good salesperson. But if you were watching one of her videos where she's talking about the kids being in the emergency room and, just hit me up if you want a sample. Would you have bought anything? Really? For me, I want a salesperson who is honest, who is authentic, who is intelligent. When I buy a new car, I go to the same guy because he has earned my respect. He's earned my business. He's hardworking. He's smart. He's truthful, right? He has something to offer. Shenanigan Maker says, my favorite is the pure romance. What is that, like the essential oils or something? Yes, truthful. Truthful matters. And if I'm watching a salesperson saying that their kids were in the emergency room, but she couldn't remember for what the night before, I'm probably not going to think, oh boy, I want to order what she's got. Alternate juror is correct. CW wore 2 or 3 patches, and he would say, according to his mother, he would say to his wife, I don't want to wear 2 or 3 patches. And his wife would say, do it. Kathy Jo says, a little. The girl who sold them to me gave me the first month, said she had so many packages she could give away. I bet she had $27,000 stashed in her basement, Kathy Jo. She's probably like, yeah, I got to get this out of here before my husband notices. She's probably like, please, Kathy Jo, take a sample, please. Ashley says, I tried it once and I'll never try it again. It caused me to have a horrible anxiety attack and I was jittery AF. Three of a kind, pure romance. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? And she didn't want to get messy? Really? Dawn says pampered chef. Was she a pampered chef person too? Because that stuff isn't cheap, On the lake. You're back on. Did you order patches? Orange Cat says, sorry, Ashley. Well, I'll tell you, you know what, Ashley? Let me zip back up here. I'll put the comment up that here it is. Ashley tried it and she had an anxiety attack. This is what I think, Ashley. I think you should be very thankful that you had that anxiety attack because that was your body telling you, don't do this. So actually, that anxiety attack was probably a very healthy reaction that your body was communicating to you. Warning, Will Robinson, warning. And if you guys know what that means, what I just said, then you're old. Actually, you're very old if you know what that means. Hi, Mary. Disability checks are $7.51 a month. Well, actually, there are a lot of different variables, Mary, in what the amount will be. But you're pretty close. Like, I'm not saying you're not exactly right, but you're in the range of what she would have qualified for because I highly doubt she had very much of a work record to lean on. Nope, not kidding. Yeah, 14 is insanity. Kathy Jo, to be fair, I did not have any lupus symptoms while wearing them, but I also did not have lupus. Wait, neither did she. I should probably mute because I'm about to crack up laughing. Okay, Kathy Jo, that was funny. Yes, I'm laughing. You can see the videos tomorrow where people go, Miss Mensa was laughing. That was like one of our better comments of the night, Kathy Jo. I'm so glad that it cured you. Ashley says, Orange Cat, thanks. Oh my gosh. Shenanigan Maker says, that's why I said I wonder if Pure Romance sold my shop. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh. Oh. Spacebound is laughing too. Oh. Our famous nail filer says, well, she had a sex toy in her drawer. Drawer, not draw. Oh my gosh. So that makes sense then, Danielle. You know, the whole thing with beads or whatever, that makes sense if she had to have an order every month, right? She's probably like, oh, that looks like a nice choker necklace for the girls. Oh my gosh. Chrissy Northern Funky Junkie says, where do you get that name? That name is funny all by itself. You can make a fortune in MLMs as long as you are Charles Bonsai. Is this stuff this funny or am I just really slap happy right now? Oh my gosh. Absolute E. So much caffeine. Yay! Jessica's old, man. And her name is Jessica 78. Jessica, I'm gonna do one of those like put my fingers to my forehead and go, Jessica was born in 1960. Am I right? All Short says, I use Thrive. It worked for me, but I couldn't afford it. Well, you know what? That's a good thing, All Short. I think that's a good thing. Because I think, I don't know, when you say it worked for you, what did it do for you? Share with us. Tell us. Spacebound 75 says, OMG, LOL. Did you guys know that I used to think LOL meant lots of laughs? Brandy says, very old here. Uh-oh. So Brandy knew the reference to Will Robinson, I betcha. Ashley says, it was horrible. I thought I was about to have a heart attack. Even after I took the patch off, it didn't go away. I felt like that all day. I did it at 7 a.m. and when I went to bed at 10 p.m., it barely wore off. Man, I would have been drinking a lot of water, Ashley. I would have been like probably drowning in water. I would have been emailing my doctor saying there's something wrong. I have a question, Ashley. Did you ask for a refund? And if so, did you get any refund from that experience? This too shall pass. Move on, says LOL. I just looked up Pure Romance and they do have sex toys. That would explain, like Danielle said, that would explain it then, wouldn't it? She had to buy products in order to, I guess, I don't know. Oh my goodness. I have no idea how to say this name. I'm just trying to read it backwards quick to see if it's something spelled backwards. It'd be pled natus. It probably isn't a name spelled backwards. What do you think she actually made off Thrive? Zero. Or I should say probably like negative $700 a month, plus whatever the car costs. Negative 700 a month would be my best guess. Kathy Jo says the Shiners are coming for me now. Yeah, because you won the funniest comment award so far. You'll be on their list. Allshort says, Kathy Jo, who is coming for you? On the lake, I would think she'd have her. Oh, I'm not going to say that. In a baggie, not just laying in the drawer. Yeah, this is all really gross, isn't it? Especially with kids and stuff. I mean, come on, right? Pull the drawer open. What's this, mommy? Oh, okay, that was your birth year. How do you know about Will Robinson then? You must have watched reruns as a child. Kathy Jo, I was kidding because of my comment. Yeah, because that comment's a good one. I bet you were watching reruns, Jessica. And if you were born in 78, you're a kid. You're young. Jessica says she's well-rounded. That would really, I think, if you don't know who Will Robinson is, then really you're right. Then you're not well-rounded. Shenanigan maker. When Shenan orders the vibrator, she orders the 2-inch pencil size with only one speed, 0. Is that like the vibrator that's called No Game? Chrissy Northern Funky Junkie. My name evolved. Uh-oh, Jessica's doxing herself. Watch it, because Cooter's on the prowl, Jessica. Cooter's going to be interested to know that. Kathy Jo says you would think she would have that drawer alphabetized or something, not just thrown in there. Well, but look at how she takes care of her purses, right? Cosmo says, can you imagine wearing 3? 3 patches? Oh my goodness. You know, some people who are discussing this case like very seriously now, on a serious note, some people believe that she was actually setting him up, like that doll picture, different comments, acting like she was shocked that he had a girlfriend, right? Some people claim that she was like trying to set him up to make it look like, telling people he was distant, telling people how she wanted her marriage and all this crap, right? And I'm kind of thinking about that. Like, you know what? Ooh, but maybe, you know, maybe. Ashley says, a friend sent me a 3-day sample. I threw the other 2 days away. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad you didn't pay for it. I told the girl who sent it to me about it, and she told me not to share my experience. Oh my gosh. Really? Okay, the first 2 words of your comment, Ashley, I want you to rethink that, okay? Rethink that relationship. Angie, a friend's mom thought LOL meant lots of love. I love it. Oh, I love it. That makes me feel better. Grandma isn't doing well, LOL. Angie, oh, you are too funny. Okay, Angie and Kathy Jo, I think you might be tied. Shenanigan Maker says, do you think her lingerie was bought off the Tribe website? And the thongs say a off the Thrive website. They sell lingerie? And the thongs say a Thrive experience. We're going to throw Shenanigan Maker up into the top 3 there. You guys are goofy. Goofy. Okay, Thrive website. Yes, okay, I wondered. Oh, I'm clicking along here laughing, and I realized, oh, they did. I didn't know that, Lavina. I didn't realize that. Did the little robot look like a Rexair rainbow? Or would that be a rainbow Rexair? I think it's a Rexair rainbow. Dominique, she meant no money. Orange Cat, yes, the vibrator and Chris had no game, according to you know who. I bet the vibrator was called No Game. Lavinia said, in fact, there were several Lost in Space remakes in recent years. Tell me about the robot. Did it look like a Rexair rainbow? Isabel says no game, just as she referred to CW. The love of her life, right? Telling her friends that he had no game. Angie is funny. Kathy Jo, like Gone Girl style, she would disappear and blame him. Or worse, Kathy Jo. And I know that sounds way out there. And when people talk like that, you know, there are quite a few private chats going where they're talking like that. And when they talk like that, I always go, oh, I just can't imagine that. But when you start, you know, listing the stuff out and then hearing this part of Christopher Watt's brother-in-law's police interview where he said she was sleeping on the couch and he was sleeping in the bed, and supposedly, you know, she was sick as soon as he arrived and stuff. Yeah, it seems like maybe she was trying to set it up to make it look like he was, right? And then think about this. If they had already said back in December of 2017 that they were getting divorced, her time was running out. Her secrets were about to become known. Like, could it be? Could it be? I mean, it sounds absolutely terrible, right? But could it be that she wanted to spend that time as a goodbye? Gina Marie says, I don't think that at all. She would have done anything for him not to leave. But as it goes in Murphy's Law, too little too late. I didn't know that was Murphy's Law. I think Murphy's Law is more like kind of like the opposite will happen kind of thing. But Gina, I'm curious. You think that she would have done anything for him? Really? Like, do you think that she would have maybe said, gee, honey, that's a good idea for you to stay overnight at your parents' house because there are travelers advisories out telling you to stay off the road? Or do you think she would have said, oh, your mom and dad drove all the way to Myrtle Beach? That's wonderful. Yes, tell them that we're right at whatever little restaurant or whatever little spot on the beach or whatever because the girls can't wait to see them. Or do you think that maybe she would have said, you know what? I'm spotting and cramping, so I think I should go to the emergency room. Or do you think she may have said, you know I have this sales training weekend planned, but because my marriage is falling apart and I don't have any money and my children are sick all the time, you know, right? And I'm pregnant and spotting and cramping, and we're about to lose the house, and all of my secrets are about to become known, and we're doing court for some pretty serious shit. Maybe I shouldn't fly off to Arizona and hang out with a bunch of people I barely know for a few days, spending money that we can't afford to spend, right? Because maybe my husband would do well to see me actually act like I care. I'm just being kind of snotty. Shenanigan Maker says, do you think her lingerie... Oop, I already got that. I already read that one. I don't know if you repeated it again or if I'm just screwing up on my list here. This too shall pass. Move on. Says, narcissists set their significant others up before they break up. They will make them look bad to family and friends before that person says the truth about them first. I agree. And I think that Nutgate issue had to do with the breakup. I also think, and this sounds, again, and this is from the private discussion groups, where people believe this and they say this. All of those photos of her taking pictures of the girls with their heads covered while they were sleeping, that's kind of creepy, especially when you consider how many times she did that. Maria says, bet she signed up for all those MLMs to get the products for free, but not smart enough to realize nothing was free. Or I think she did it to kind of try to convince herself that she had a career. Chrissy Northern Funky Junkie says, I believe there was a plan involving many players, but it went wrong somehow and a quick new script had to be written. Danielle said, and I'm sure SW was super excited. I love your humor, Danielle. Oh, you guys are fun tonight. What's going on? Are y'all drunk or what? Miss Marple says, that is so true. This too shall pass. Dominique says, no money, no game. Orange Cat says, LOL. This is what Orange Cat is saying. Lots of love, MM. I'm going to call it that from now on. I love that. Grandma isn't doing well. LOL. Rebecca says, I wonder if she's not hiding somewhere to frame him. You know what? A lot of people say that. It's that Gone Girl thing. People are telling me I have to watch Gone Girl because I've never seen it. So I watched like parts of it, just like clips of it here and there. And every single clip I watched was like, ooh, creepy. Very creepy. But I don't think she's hiding anywhere just to frame him. But I do think that the people who are discussing their opinions, that they think it was all premeditated and that he was basically being set up. I think they might have something to that. Lavina says, LOL, I never actually saw any of them. I am old enough to remember the original. So you couldn't answer my question about the vacuum cleaner. Rebecca said, I'm doubting true crime rocket science's theory now lately. I don't know what his theory is, but I doubt him anyway. Is that a snake in your picture? That looks like a big snake. Is that like one of those python types? Shenanigan Maker says, what's his theory, Rebecca? Yeah, Rebecca, what's his theory? Orange Cat says, said no game, of course, thinking that no one else would want Chris. Surprise, surprise. This too shall pass. Move on says, that's why she sent that pic of her face. Defeated, Miss Marple. As part of a setup? Because remember, too, she was talking about moving in her friends and basically moving him out, right? So why all the conflicting stories, right? Did she want to save her marriage or did she want to move in her friends? And you know how she told people that he wanted the baby? How it was his idea for her to get pregnant? Bullshit. Bullshit. I think we should rename the channel something like this is the no bullshit, the no, I can't talk tonight, the no bullshit zone. Cosmo says, not out of realm of possibilities. I know it's kind of out there, isn't it, Cosmo? But when you, just like everything else with this case, when you look at the long list of details about the case that would support that theory, it's kind of like, ooh, nobody wants to think that, but man, there's so much to go on. Telling the hairstylist that she was getting divorced and looking forward to being single again, in my opinion, is huge. Mary says, SW said they all thrived for free. Oh, yeah, I bet they did. And I think the Lexus was free. And I think all those vacations were free. Oh my goodness. Lexi says, hello. Spacebound says, I believe she was slowly building up to it, but snapped when all hope was gone. Remember how she said, tomorrow morning's really gonna suck? Why on earth would she have said, tomorrow morning's really gonna suck? Because if you're a pregnant mom, you look forward to going to the OB. You look forward to it. But she said, tomorrow morning's really gonna suck. Isabel says, exactly. She was saying food bye. I think Isabel meant to say she was saying goodbye. Ms. Marple says, you nailed it. This too shall pass, move on. Rebecca says, okay, here's the theory, everyone. Listen up. Get closer to your computer so you can hear. This is the theory of the TCRS, I think it is, right? Rebecca's telling us. His theory is that Watts acted alone and overdosed the children? Are you kidding me? At 7 p.m. while grilling out them in storage tubs, refrigerator, and waiting, and choked her minutes after coming in the door. Yeah, when I talked to him back in 2018, he told me that he had an inside scoop from an employee at the police department who told him that when she walked in the door, he was standing there waiting and he choked her. That was his story. So I wonder how he feels about all the changing stories, about how the girls died twice and all that. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Huh. Freudian Slip is here. Hi, MM. Hi, everyone. Isabel says it doesn't matter what she would have done, he was done. Yeah, I think that marriage was already done, and I think she knew it. Ashley said, and her insurance would have covered her visit. Exactly. That was an absolute lie for her to not go to the emergency room. So she was either lying about the spotting and cramping. Well, she could have been lying about both. Who knows? And, if someone's going to lie about something so serious, that's not capiche. Not capiche. Rebecca said he mocked the Bible to me, and as an atheist, knows it all. I didn't know he was an atheist. I didn't know that. That's too bad. That's too bad. And if he wants to have whatever belief or non-belief or whatever, that's up to him. But mocking the Bible to you is not acceptable for anybody to do, period. And then Rebecca just posted an anti-statement here about the Bible mocking person. Orange Cat says, or Chris, you don't have to drive 3 hours because you forgot the costumes. Exactly. Spacebound said, what, Rebecca? On the Lake said she set him up. You guys think that theory might kind of make sense, huh? I know every time I see them talking about it, and I just kind of feel like, ooh, that just is so far out there. But then, man, you think about it, and it's like, look at that doll picture, and look at 2.5 years later, people are still trying to tell you that it was actually Christopher Watts who took that doll picture. No, it wasn't. Angie said, oh, I might sneeze. Hold on. No, maybe not. Angie said, I got kicked off earlier. It said it was a private chat. What the H? I have no idea what you're saying, Angie. Rebecca said, TCRS made fun of the Holy Bible in a private message to me. Angie said, did I miss anything good? We've had some funny comments. Rebecca said, TCRS says it's all Watts and not NK, and said Shanann wasn't abusive. Oh, okay. If he thinks that Shanann wasn't abusive, I guess, oh, I guess he's okay with squirting water in a little girl's face and making her stand there and take it. Spacebound, that's true crime. What is he? Someone help Spacebound out if you can. I don't know for sure what it's called. Something true crime though. He writes a lot of books. Freudian Slip says something sure was going on with all of the NA and Sun stuff. I believe she was in the house. Yeah, that whole phone app thing, the sheets, the phone, finding the phone, not calling out her name, even going over there to begin with, claiming that the doctor's office, all of it, that 911 call, claiming she was diabetic, all of it is just so odd. It just seems so odd. And why didn't anyone call Shanann's phone? Why didn't her mother call her phone? Right? Why weren't these people all calling her phone? Christopher Watts called her phone. Did you know that? Christopher Watts actually called her phone, but the other people didn't. No, Spacebound. No, it's a different one. Kathy Jo says book is even better. I have no idea what book. I think you guys are talking to each other and I'm missing it. There it is. Rebecca's posting what she's talking about. He told me to stick to my usual sources of Facebook and the Bible, to leave true crime to him. What is he, 12 or what, 20? I don't know. I've probably been doing true crime longer than he's been on the planet. That's funny. That is so funny. What year was Gone Girl made? I don't know, but that's a good question, isn't it? Let's see. I've got my Google tab open. Let me check. What year was Gone Girl made? And it says October 3rd, 2014. October 3rd, 2014. So interesting. I wonder if that was one of her favorite movies. Let's see. Yep, 2014. Oops, it disappeared. There it is. Yes, Spacebound. I do too. Jennifer Johnson says, are you still N? I'm not still on. We took a break. Rebecca says, I breed. Oh, you do? Ooh. So are these the ones that can squeeze around you? A friend of mine's daughter has the kind that can squeeze around you. I think it's a python. And when she and her husband travel, he babysits the critters. They call them the critters. Ooh, cool. Well, I mean, kind of cool. Cool for you. Cool for you. I hope you feed them well. That's all I'll say about it. Feed them well. Don't ever give them an excuse to go looking for food. Three of a Kind says, are you familiar with the Sherry Pepini case, MM? We should discuss it on live sometime, talking about Gone Girl. Just made me think about that case. That case, in my opinion, was a total farce. If you look at it, in my opinion, they're both crappy actors. And I hope that the local law enforcement agencies sent them both a bill. Spacebound, my phobia. The pythons? This too shall pass, move on. The pic was for her friends to feel sorry for her. Oh, the sad face? The poor me? Yep. Phoenix Flights, how come you took your last live down? I didn't. My computer went down. I can probably put it back up. Let me see. Well, I'm not going to try while I'm on here because then this might go down. My computer went down and I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to, because it wouldn't let me click on the end broadcast thing. So I turned it to private, but it didn't take because I couldn't click on the save thing. It wouldn't let me click on it. And then my computer went down. It went black. So if it's still if it made it on the private, if it's still on the private, then I'll fix it. But I don't want to do it during this because then this might fall too, or go down or whatever. On the lake, well, she must have realized she had no friends to move in. Rebecca, I gave him money. What? Why did you give him money every month? Oh, for his Patreon? Did he do like videos for his Patreon? Wow. 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 Carol says 70,000 free. Are you talking about the bankruptcy, walking away from $70,000 in unsecured debts? Spacebound says, but I will say the friends were trying to move in, but she didn't want to, not because she loved him, though, other motives. You know, wouldn't it have been nice for her if she would have had a friend who said, you know what you need to do is get off social media, go get a part-time job, start helping out around the house, do your best to like not insult him, be nice to his mother, right? Instead, it sounds like the friends were saying, well, hey, to hell with him, we'll just move in. Spacebound says oops, it disappeared. Spacebound says you think Mensa? I don't know. I do wonder about that too. Documax, because she wouldn't be with her friends and facing a marriage still getting broken. Is that not why the next morning would suck? No, that's ridiculous, Documax. I'm sorry. Tomorrow morning's really gonna suck. Okay, quote, tomorrow morning's really gonna suck. She hasn't been around her daughters for 2 or 3 days in a row, right? At all. She gets to go to the doctor in the morning to be able to see the heartbeat of the baby. She gets to see her husband, who she's barely seen in the last 6 weeks, right? And you think that she's saying tomorrow morning is really going to suck because she would be missing her friends? Are you kidding me? She's a 34-year-old wife and mother. And it sounds like she wasn't enjoying that weekend because didn't they say all she wanted to do was sit there? Tanya says, hi. Hi, Tanya. Abby says, I love TCRS. Well, Abby, if you're a Christian, you might not want to share with him that you're a Christian from the sounds of what we're hearing. Spacebound says, and he's the only intelligent. Yeah, that's what makes me laugh. Seriously. You're not kidding, Spacebound. He honestly does believe that he's the intelligent one. And you know what cracks me up? So many of these people are new to the true crime community. He isn't as new as a lot of them, but the true crime community has been going strong for at least 12 years, and it's actually been going strong for probably about another 4 years beyond that. So it's kind of cute when people who have been in the true crime community for, a few years are the experts. Plus, it's true crime. It's a hobby. I think it was Danielle who was saying it earlier. It's a hobby. It's like, expert? Are you kidding me? It's a hobby. It's discussing true crime cases. I don't, this whole thing that like the armchair detective is an investigator, it's like, no, he isn't. He's an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? He is not an investigator. It's a hobby. Misty says, hello, hello. So happy you're live. And let's see. Danielle says she had a psychotic episode and killed her kids. NA wasn't there to stop her that time. Do you think that NA was in the basement, Danielle? Kathy Jo says he shows Thrive packets in garbage and said CW puts SW Oxy from basement in them to overdose kids. Crappity crap. That's a cute term, crappity crap. I like that. Okay, he shows Thrive. I get now what you're saying, but I had to read the whole thing to figure out what you were saying. He shows Thrive packets in garbage and said CW put SW Oxy from basement in them to overdose kids. So he overdosed the kids and then he strangled her as soon as she came in the door, right? Yeah. 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 Oh my goodness, I'm too slow here. Okay, I'm going to read really fast. Well, I might not read really fast, but I'll read faster. Mary says, how about putting a choker necklace on that infant? OMG, I've been petty nurse, a pediatric nurse, 49 years. Good for you. Good for you, Mary. That is a wonderful career. I almost called CPS when I saw it. The choker necklace, somebody emailed me photos of both girls with choker necklaces on. And when those are discussed, shiners will say, oh, those are teething necklaces, right? Well, I'm sorry, a 4-year-old doesn't wear a teething necklace, and neither does a 3-year-old, neither does a 2-year-old. And in both photos, the girls were pulling them away from their neck. What is with that control? The choker necklaces, the pigtails that look like those pigtails make my scalp hurt just to see the photo. What is with that? Like, sit still. You can just picture it. Sit still. Probably with those nails in the way. Freudian slip. Danielle Marie. Yep, NA was sleeping on the job. Well, and think about it. Christopher Watts kept a key in his pocket. There were locks on those doors. What if somebody didn't lock a door that was supposed to be kept locked? Rebecca says a certain someone's name. We can start using initials, dear. Used to be a Christian and now he is a proud atheist. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's his right. Of course, that's his right. Carol says, if you're spotting and cramping, that's a major factor that you're miscarrying your baby. Exactly. Exactly. And then giving fake excuses, right? Oh, it's out of network. The insurance wouldn't cover it. Phoenix Flights. Do you know much about the military? That's a really open-ended question, Phoenix. Misty says, I hope I didn't miss much. Oh, you actually have missed a few laughs. It got funny there for a while. Shenanigan Maker says, All hospitals will let a pregnant woman use their ER no matter whether they are in network or not. They literally have a sign out front, especially if you're high risk, which she wasn't. Do you think by then that she figured she lost the pregnancy? Rebecca, when a creator takes personal offense every time you challenge their theory in the least, it's a sign of bad character. It's a sign of something. I think it's a sign of immaturity, actually. Documax, I think you're wrong on the doll picture, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not wrong, Documax. I'm right. Don't be afraid. Sharon says, my God, it's nearly 4 a.m. I'm awake. I think when Sharon is in the middle of the night at 4 a.m., she loses her ability to spell. Cosmo says, I was accused of being a troll earlier today. You guys are cute. I love Sharon. It's nearly 4 a.m. I'm awake. I think she meant to say I'm wide awake, but obviously with her spelling, she isn't. Rebecca, true crime. Oh, here we go again. Okay, let's forget about that. Okay, Rebecca, we'll let it go. Just move on. Let it go. Because I think that anybody who says right away too, he was writing books like I think in August or September or whatever, I can't remember. And if I go try to look, I might screw up this screen. But I probably September, maybe October. He was writing one book after another because he knew everything about this case because he had an inside connection. To me, that just kind of screamed like, yeah, okay, sure you do. Spacebound, no, I meant to quote that. Jessica, there we go again. Misty, I was watching all of Straight's videos when you came up live. He is literally blowing my mind. Misty, watch the video Rigor Mortis. Rigor Mortis. It will flip you out, man. Abby, actually, here we go again with that other guy. Oh, okay. Rebecca, here we go again. Come on, you guys. Ugh, stop already. Rebecca, here we go again. He has 14 books out on the Watts case. Phoenix, do you ever wonder why so many in the Watts case are connected to the Navy? Isabel, SW was absolutely 100% abusive. I think it says that. Is that what it says? It looks like a blur. Orange Cat, LOL, Sharon, 4 a.m. Spacebound, why are you calling me out? Calling you out for what, Spacebound? When I said, okay, let's move on? Let's move on. Carol, really, no one yelled her name, the girl's name? No one ran upstairs? I don't get it. Yeah, what's that about? Nobody said, Shanann, Shanann, are you okay? Shanann, right? Rebecca, I got to know him very personally. Oh, Broken dreams. Sandy was too busy calling Primrose. Why wouldn't you call your daughter? If your daughter's missing, I think you'd call your daughter. Sheila, the pie in the face, I didn't like it. At 40, my daughter thought it was funny. At 6, but I never made her do it. I think the dynamics really showed in that video because Bella didn't just say, I don't want to do this, right? She hid under the chair. She went as far away as she could, right? She watched in anticipation, kind of like wondering if she was going to have to do it. What that video tells me is Bella didn't have a voice. Because a little girl at that age who didn't want to have to play that stupid game should have been able to have said, no, I don't want to play that game. And she should have been heard. But she wasn't heard. And instead, she was antagonized, I think, in a very sadistic way. And then finally, she broke down and she started crying. And then her mother used it as some sort of an opportunity to act like she was some kind of a, doting mother. Sorry, doting mothers don't push their kid taunt their kid, antagonize their kid. No, that's not a doting mother. That's someone who had her camera rolling and who didn't seem to understand that treating Bella that way was not very impressive. Sharon said he doesn't take criticism. Oh my gosh, you guys, come on. Okay, I'm going to call you out, Sharon. Stop it. Abby, stop it. Three of a kind. I used to believe that the SW killing the girls theory was out there until I really started to dig deeper and I saw the abuse of the girls with my own eyes. That's what I tell people. Research. Do your own research. Don't believe anything that anybody says. Do your own research. Ask questions, discuss, offer your opinions, debate, and it really is important that you discuss your own opinions and that you keep an open mind and keep digging, keep doing your own research. Rebecca says, oh, for Pete's sake. Really, you guys? Really? Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, this isn't the same one. Rebecca, pythons only get to be six, only, and 6 feet do not belong in the same sentence. Oh, these are just the puppies. Okay. Oh my goodness. Danielle, I'm afraid of all snakes and those snake lizards. Rebecca, what? Is 3/4 the snake's name? Yeah, it's a snake. It's a big snake, but she said they only go to 6 feet. I would say only going to 1 foot would be only 1 foot too big. God made snakes too. He just took away their legs. Aw. Danielle, me too. They are everywhere. Jennifer, no offense, MM. Love your chats. It's a photo of my dream snake. A dream snake. You're cute, Rebecca. Spacebound, the pythons of all snakes. I trust snakes much more than humans. Aw. That's really kind of sad. This too shall pass, move on. How crazy that the one thing SW didn't say she had, diabetes, is the one thing that NA's son and neighbor told the cops, that NA, her son, and the neighbor told the cops she had. That is kind of ironic, isn't it? With her long list of, supposed diseases, the one thing she didn't have is what they were talking about. Or, I mean, the one thing she didn't claim to have. Danielle, I stayed in Florida for 3 months and I had scorpions in my bedroom at my grandparents' house. The first day we got there, when I was little, there was a scorpion that went flying up the side of the refrigerator. Oh my goodness. Of course, I thought it was some kind of a baby alligator or something because I had never seen an alligator before. So, and I was little when that happened. Misty, what do you think the extent of NA's son's involvement was in this case? I'll answer it this way, Misty. I think it would be wonderful if NA's son were to be interviewed on his own. Well, with a lawyer if he wants, right? With a lawyer sitting by his side by law enforcement. I think an interview with NA's son would be very interesting. Rebecca, he does tons on his Patreon, tons. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys are so silly. Oh my goodness. Isabel, I had a 6-foot ball python that I would take with me everywhere. You're kidding me. He'd hide my jacket and only came out when I think he thought it was threatened. Wow. Carol says, yeah. Shenanigan Maker says, hey, Mensa, what do you think of my new profile pic? Chris with baby. Shenanigan wants. Oh, I wondered because it looked kind of freaky. Did you know Chris did all the breastfeeding too? And true Renaissance man. That's firsthand knowledge, by the way. Huh. Angie says, That's what I was talking about. I was watching and it said private chat, so I left. Spacebound, I agree. Misty says the friends enabled her abusive behavior. I agree with that. But I think that's kind of part and parcel with a bunch of MLMers on social media. Because there's a distance in their relationship, right? There's a distance, a built-in distance. Robbie says she would have never stopped the MLM thrive. Well, I think at the point that they were homeless and lost the car, and if that ongoing family matter would have restricted even further any access to children, I think she would have been forced to. Uh-oh, here Rebecca goes again. Oh, come on, you guys. Now you're just doing it to make me laugh, right? Sharon says, hope you stopped paying, Rebecca. Yeah, I hope so too, Rebecca. Dee Dee Dugan says her morning sure did suck. Wouldn't you agree? No, I wouldn't agree. The morning that she had planned would not have sucked, and I think it's interesting that she would have said tomorrow morning's really going to suck. No. And remember, in her father's interview, he said she came home and then she confronted him about the receipt. Really? You see what I'm saying, Dee Dee? Before she got there, she said, tomorrow morning's really going to suck. Why on earth would she have thought that tomorrow morning was really going to suck? Danielle says she knew the baby was dead and she didn't want to see the doctor. I agree with you, Danielle. I agree with you completely. Rebecca, for a narc monster, not seeing her friends or taking care of her girls would suck. Broken dreams. She couldn't have her friends living there for long because then they'd see she wasn't the great mother and wife they'd think she was. Plus, I think Christopher Watts would have gotten custody of the kids, so I think it might have been kind of tough for them to figure out which one of them was ever going to pay the mortgage, right? Without Christopher Watts there to pay it for him. Exactly, Danielle. Okay, I'm going to leave that comment up on the screen for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, what did I miss? Isabel, I don't, people calling you Mensa. Sharon, he's the authentic voice in true crime. You guys aren't going to quit talking about him, are you? Misty says, I think SW felt she achieved her popularity with her MLMers that she never had in high school. I think about that. Maybe she never really felt like she belonged, so she had to keep on signing up for more MLMs, right? I think she did have some sort of issue about not feeling like she belonged. Angie said, we were having a pity party in the picture and the Arizona weekend. Yes. True. Broken. Rebecca's still talking about him. He's a ripoff. Kristen in Seattle. Oh my goodness. Danielle, no. And where's the rest of the doorbell video? Exactly. Pulls the hair out. She cut Bella's hair as a sign of dominance and control, just like those pigtails. Choker necklaces? Yeah, that is some sick crap, Freudian slip. No wonder she was so irate. Broken dreams. They look so freaking tight. My poor head hurts just looking at them. Rebecca. There she goes again. Yes, Rebecca. Use initials for the person you're not going to talk about anymore. Rebecca says the storm is up on us, Phoenix. Is that code word for something, Rebecca? Sharon, ha 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 ha. What did I miss about the doll pic? Broken dreams. I don't know what you missed, but Christopher Watts did not send the doll pic. Lavina, it is scary to think the girls were locked into the rooms. That is dangerous. What if there was a fire or a break-in? Who knows what else? What if one of them got sick in the night? Exactly. Rebecca, Watts would be pretty stupid to snap those pics while planning a murder. Exactly. Plus, he wasn't the one snapping pictures, you know? Sharon said, I did mean wide awake. LOL. This is what Sharon said. I did mean wide awake. Lots of love. Miss C.D. Isaacs is talking about you-know-who we're not talking about anymore. Lavina says they wouldn't hear them above the noise machines and locked doors. Chrissy Northern Funky Junkie, 4 a.m. here too in the UK. 3 of a kind. Those books were ridiculous. Sharon, you're right. Didn't he write his first book before the Discovery came out? Yes. I think he wrote more than the first one. I think he wrote like 3 of them. I wrote one too, though, so I can't complain. My first one was called, what was it called? It was called Presumed Guilty. Because, in the United States, we're actually presumed innocent. But I could tell that the mainstream media and social media were going to go ahead and presume he was guilty, regardless of our Constitution. So I titled my first one Presumed Guilty, and I whined about how he was not being treated fairly. Rebecca, okay, I will drop it. Why drop it now, Rebecca? It's only been like a half an hour of me telling you to drop it. Don't worry, Sharon will keep talking about it. Shenanigan Maker, here we go. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh. Oh, oh finally. Spacebound says, oh Lord. Hello everyone. Hi, White Rabbit. Sharon says, hi, White Rabbit. Rebecca's saying, lots of love. I have a mouthful of salmon too, and I'm laughing. I'll probably inhale salmon. Broken Dream says, I hate that video. White Rabbit says, hi, Sharon. Rebecca says, back to Watts. Bella was targeted by her mother. I agree with that. I do think that Bella took the brunt of the, what I would call abuse. Orange Cat, why didn't SW accept a pie in her face? Oh, wouldn't, you know what? I bet you if she would have, I bet you Bella would have wanted to play. Misty said Bella was abused and treated like CW. They had very similar personalities. Yes. Yep. Just grin and take it. Phoenix, so you want to dodge the Navy question? Okay, no worries. There you go. Okay, let's see. Nobody in that family had a voice except for SW. I agree with that. SW wouldn't want a pie to the face because she's too worried about her makeup. I really believe that if SW would have put her face in that pie, well, not in the pie, but in that circle, I really think that both girls and Christopher Watts probably would have enjoyed the game. Sharon says, my bad, no more mentioning him. Why stop now? Rebecca says, it's okay, Sharon, me too. You guys are cute. Broken Dream says, Cece bucked up to SW and I think SW hated it. But for some reason, Cece, I think, had the freedom, and I think it's because Bella was protecting her. Dolo says, I love the lives. I'm glad one of us does, Dolo. Angie says, the girls screaming and crying during the Santa video went on way too long. The extent of their screaming and crying, too, where was the comfort for them? You know, at one point she said that she would stay right in the room. She said, she verbalized it. She said she would stay right there. She put the kid on his lap and the kid went ballistic and she went running out of the room. That's called terrorizing your child who's already terrorized, you know? Orange Cat says, right, Rebecca, but everyone else was forced to have a pie in their face. Well, I think Mommy and Grandma should have gotten in on the act. I really do. I think Bella and Cece should have said, come on, Mommy. Come on, Grandma. Your turn. Rebecca says, never stop searching for your own facts. Exactly. Research, dig in, think, you know, keep an open mind, listen to other people's opinions, share your own opinions, discuss, debate. Angie, listen to everything, believe nothing. Form your own opinions. And, you know, thankfully, we can discuss this case, right? There for a while, it was very difficult to discuss this case because we were getting harassed and attacked and threatened, you know. But we can discuss this case. We have the right to discuss this case. We have the freedom to discuss this case. And in my opinion, we have the responsibility to discuss this case. The issues of public concern with this case are many. Rebecca says, ball pythons only get to be as wide as a female's bicep. I think just having the name Python, it doesn't even matter how big they get. Sharon, my cat is snoring like a bloke does. He's so loud. Well, then you came to the right place because this is known as the snoring channel. One of SW's friends even commented under that pie in the face video whilst it was happening, saying, poor Bella. And Shanann was like, oh, come on, she loves it. Yeah, I think she was disconnected from that. I think she was disconnected from both kids. I don't think she caught on. I don't think she got it. Same thing with the water in the face, right? The Santa video. I mean, the child was hungry, wanting food, and she said, "Oh, you want a laptop?" I don't think she was connected to those kids at all. Maria, and Bella's behavior at not wanting to play the game was so profound that Cece was noticing Bella and staring at her sister, hiding under the chair. Yes, sad and confusing. I agree. Rebecca, it's a little snake. Lots of love. 3 of the 4 snakes are. Ooh, so the 4th one isn't. Lots of love. Abby says, I hate snakes. Evil. Uh-oh. Abby and Rebecca are about to get into it, you guys. Watch. Chrissy Northern Funky Junkie. Never known of a good detective with an armchair stuck to his arms. Even Ironside had feels. Do you guys know who Ironside is? Because if you do, you're old. 3 of a kind. No animal is evil. SMH. On the lake, I think she grew to resent the girls because CW was choosing them over her. If she had mental disorders, she wouldn't be able to process everything crumbling down around her. I agree on the lake. Abby agrees with Chrissy. Uh-oh, we're teaming up. Orange Cat, LOL. Lots of love, Chrissy. Abby, I deal with scorpions. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness for black lights. What? Scorpions don't like black lights? I didn't know that. I learn a lot from you guys. 3 of a kind says, Sharon, aw, that is adorable. My cat snores loud too. It's so cute. You guys really are on the right channel. A monkey's uncle. Listen to this. Has anyone heard yet that she claimed to have rosacea? Is that how you say it? I don't know. She claimed that to CW at least. He said so to the cop in the first video. Wow. Carol put the letter P in a comment. Rebecca, there was a distance between them called a cell phone. That is so true. Oh, that is so true. Broken Dreams. Monkey's uncle. I didn't catch that. I'll have to go back and listen for it. 3 of a kind. She was surrounded by enablers. Her friends, her family, her husband. They were all yes men. Rebecca, I only did it because there was a huge lag. You guys are too funny. I knew you'd keep talking about it. Okay. She was surrounded by enablers. That is so true. I agree with you guys. A monkey's uncle. It's right before they went to Nate's. CW is standing on the stairs on the way down, and the cop's asking if she had any illness. Shenanigan Maker. Yep. Surrounded by yes men or people because we're not sexist on this channel. We're gender free. James Ferguson. Let me think. I'm trying to think if you're a different person, but you're not. I have the name wrong. James Ferguson says, I'm new. I'm a big fan. I don't believe Chris Watts killed his kids. And after listening to y'all, wow, I can't believe he's the only one sitting in prison. I don't believe he killed his kids either, James. A monkey's uncle. She had a mental illness, many of them. I agree with you. Glad Girl. What's the YouTube channel you were talking about? We're not. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the rigor mortis one. The YouTube channel is Straight Up Blowing Minds. It's STR8. Straight Up Blowing Minds. Freudian slip. Okay, I'm off to work. Enjoy the rest of your night, day, everyone. Love your lives, MM. Love you too, Freudian slip. Be safe. Have a good day at work or a good night at work. Angie, Danielle, I have often wondered that same thing. Here we go, Danielle, thank you. Danielle just posted straight up blowing minds. Except it's STR and then the number 8. But you got the blowing part. That's right. A lot of people put blowing, but it isn't. It doesn't have a G. PJ says, hi all. Here's Applego. I think there was a baby just because CW said he could tell she had miscarried. Yeah, but CW said a lot, right? I'm way behind on the comments. I think I'm talking too much. Anne Marie says, wasn't there a fetus in autopsy report? Danielle says she lied about everything. Anne Marie, coffin bird? Rebecca, I used to defend and advertise for you. Know who? I knew that wouldn't be the end of it. I knew it. 3 of a kind. No, there was no coffin birth, Anne Marie. Jessica, PJ, hi. Rebecca, good question. Where is the rest of the doorbell video? Anne Marie, 3 of a kind. I wasn't sure. Thanks. Hey, Melissa. Hey, everyone. Appleguy, I just want to see the video of her coming home because all they gave us was an old one. She was wearing a different shirt. Lavina, glad girl, it's straight up blowing minds. Chris Watts, rigor mortis. Rebecca, yes, it is code for probably corruption, I think is that word, being flushed out in the USA over the next 2 months. Oh, okay. I guess it's okay. I don't get what you just said. Yes, it is code for corruption. Being flushed out in the USA over the next 2 months, plus the storm. I don't know what that means, but that's okay. I don't need to. Okay, there's another one about the storm. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Will somebody email me and let me know what you mean? Miss Mensa at Gmail? Because I'm seeing that quite a bit. What does that mean? I'm loving you guys. I'm sitting here having a little piece of salmon left over, which I love salmon, by the way, and a little cup of coffee, which I love, by the way, and enjoying your comments, except I don't know what the storm is. So if someone wants to email me, that'd be cool. And I won't say anything about your email at all. If you guys want to email me, I won't like ever say, oh, Melissa emailed me XYZ or anything. If you want me to say something, then just put it in the email. I want you to say this. But otherwise, I don't. And Marie says, me too, Apple. White Rabbit says, hi, Melissa. Melissa says, what are we discussing, Rabbit? White Rabbit says, everything. Lots of love. Melissa says, lots of love. So the usual. Applegate says, I wish NA would do a question and answer, a Q&A. Lots of love. She loves to talk so much, but about nothing important. Sharon says, oh, is your book on Amazon? Sharon, don't buy any of my stuff. It's all overpriced. Anything you want to know about my opinion, they're just opinion essays. So anything you want to know about my opinion, you can pretty much get by asking me. Unless you really, really like to read. then I don't know, maybe I should do promos on them or something, because they can do a thing where I can do it for free for like 24 hours. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do a promo. I'll have to figure out how to do it, though. I haven't done one of those in a long time. I'll figure out a promo. And if I remember it, then I'll announce it like on Friday. All short, why did he put his kids in oil tanks? I can't make sense of that. I can't either, all short, and I'm not sure that he did. James Ferguson, I have been through the cost issue. I have mentally ill kids, and I could tell you for a fact that CW being the only one that has a key says it all. He was protecting them kids from her 100%. Tell me more, James, if you don't mind. And I don't mean about your own kids or anything, but hearing about those locks on the doors and hearing about the cameras in the house and that he had the key right in his pocket, do you think that possibly her mental illness was so severe that they were like actually physically locking the kids away from her? You know what I mean? So they wouldn't accidentally come out and go up to her or in the night or whatever, so that he could actually sleep, right? And if so, when you think about how he said he went down to the main floor and was getting ready for work, right? He went and took a shower. Could it be that she somehow got the key or somehow gained access? Rebecca says most of the U.S. doesn't care about the Constitution. Oh, excuse me? Rebecca says most of the U.S. doesn't care about the Constitution. And I say, au contraire. It's only an obstacle in the way of what they want. No, I think that most people in the United States do care about the Constitution. James says CPS instead of costs, CPS. Apago. No one can accept maybe Sandy since she knew they were in oil. Did she say she knew they were in oil, or did she say that she had a dream or something that they were in oil, right? I can't remember. Danielle said, NA just made a video with her son talking about Thrive and mentions SW. Kate says, who else has heard both that the baby was buried with SW? Then they said the baby was at some lab somewhere. Yep. Yeah, because in the Dr. Phil thing, didn't she say she had to give up her grandson? Melissa said, yeah, I saw that, Danielle. Cosmo, love hearing you. It looks like laughing until I cry so much. To you, Cosmo. I'll tell you, some of those comments earlier had me going. I actually muted myself out because I laughed so silly. I was laughing so much I wasn't drinking my coffee either. Okay, Applego. Applego says, I want to know how NA's son knew so much about SW and how he knew where her phone was. I want to know how he knew about the sheets. That's just, why was he even upstairs? How did he find the phone so fast, right? How did he know so much about her? Didn't he say things about her relationship with her mother? I think that NA was working to supervise her. And I think she would bring her son with her. And that's how he learned so much. Danielle, I only watched part of it. I can't stand her. Oh, her comments are getting funny again. Maria says, James, that is interesting. He definitely did do most of the caregiving to those girls. I think all of the caregiving to those girls. Applego, Danielle, I can't stand trying to watch her videos. 1 second and I'm done. I tried one time to watch one and she looked like right into the camera, kind of like, and I thought, I don't want to watch this. Brooke says, Rebecca, remember what the Bible says. Be glad when they persecute you for my sake, for Jesus' sake, because your reward is in heaven. Three of a kind. Anne Marie, we discussed the whole coffin birth thing a couple lives back. Check them out if you want to hear more about it. Melissa, Danielle, I struggle because I don't feel like I know the full truth. Well, Melissa, I would say this. I'm not sure how long it took. Like, I struggled big time with none of this making sense and wondering why on earth we were being lied to, and also at the same time putting up with being abused and harassed and attacked, right? So the whole thing was like, what the heck? And none of the stuff about the case made sense. That I was just like, my bullshit meter was like going off, right? But then I received some phone calls from people who had information. And once I heard different bits and pieces of information, then it was like, I thought so. And then a little more information, right? So when you're not hearing people in different positions saying different things, it is going to be difficult. Plus, back then, there was a lot more information out there, but a lot of it's been removed. So it is going to be tough for you to really make sense of this stuff. That's going to be tough, and it takes time, and there's so much information, right? Have you found the timeline videos yet? I think I have like timeline, the original timeline, not the latest one, and not the gut checks one. I have a series called Gut Check, and I have a series called Timeline, and there's two of those. Go to the original timeline series, and that might kind of walk you right through, because a lot of people have commented how much those timeline series videos really help them make sense of the whole case. Danielle says, yes, I look at her and I think about what she knows. Boomtown, when did you start? Melissa, like what exact role did she play, if any? Robin, all about the videos. Yes, watching those videos will tell you. You mean the videos of Christopher Watt's wife? Just make sure you see those videos. And yeah. Oh, the Lindstrom's interview is a good one too. The Lindstrom's daughter said in her interview that Bella kept telling her Cece would die if she ate coconut, and that worried the babysitter. Right, Missy. I think what the babysitter said was Cece, or that Bella was worried that somebody was going to give Cece kiwi, I think, and then she would never see her again. How terrible is that for a little 4.5-year-old to be living in fear that somebody might give her sister some food that she probably wasn't even allergic to, and she'd never see her again? How terrible is that? Rebecca, did you guys ever see their Easter photos? Yes. I'd be terrified of that bunny too, just like the Santa Claus incident. And what's that about? Is a picture really worth traumatizing your child? Angie says, then called them Grinches. Exactly. Kathy Jo, did you see the live last night showing that NA had SW's phone with her and it sent the I'm driving, do not disturb message as reply to the realtor and another person? What do you think? I didn't see that live, no. I think that there's something fishy. Big time, Kathy Jo. When I was told that her mother didn't call her on that day, that kind of made me wonder. Okay, that pie would have at least looked a hell of a lot better than that crap makeup that she wore. Oh my. Melissa, yeah, she did, Misty. Bella was terrified of losing her sister. She was also terrified of the dirt, and she was terrified of the rain. Misty, isn't that terrible, Melissa? Liliana says Nico was not delivered to the Rusek family until 27 days after the funeral. What? Detective B. Dave B. delivered Nico in a cooler on ice, nowhere, anywhere, says Nico was buried. Then why did they get $6,000 from Weld County's Victim Restitution Fund for burial, Liliana? All sure. I would love to be on the panel. When is the next live? I'm too tired to join today. We're doing a live on Friday. Cosmo, SR wanted girls to continue having CW get the pie in the face like she took pleasure in seeing it. Kathy Jo, the babysitter said Bella even talked to her about Cece dying if she ate coconut. Poor baby. Yeah, she was afraid that she would die. I mean, how sadistic is that to convince a 4-year-old little girl that her sister was going to die if someone gave her a certain food? Yes, Melissa makes a good point. All short. But we are having one next Friday and probably one or two in between. Rebecca, next month. I love Rebecca. Next month, Rebecca's getting a boa constrictor. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Jessica says, my 9-year-old son got pie in the face for a Christmas gift. I threw it away. Oh, I would have too. I would have too. Yeah, you just have to buy him something else and say, sorry, kid. After this true crime case that I learned about, I just can't handle having that in the house. Boomtown. Bella said she did not like pie face. Exactly. Kay Cooper says, Liliana, I've not heard that, but damn, who knows the truth? Melissa says it's truly awful, Misty, especially realizing that she would indeed lose her soon enough. All Short says, thank you, Melissa. And Three of a Kind says, the Santa video shouldn't even have happened. Cece was already bawling before her mother picked up the phone. A normal mother would have comforted their child and not began recording. Exactly. But I think she wanted them to be crying because then she could pretend in her own little dream world that she was this mother with so much to handle, even though in reality it was Christopher Watts who was handling everything. Misty, isn't that sad? Kathy Jo, breaks my heart. Bella had so much on her little mind and on her little shoulders, for sure. Carol, SW got off when the kids were scared. Exactly. Exactly right. Sure is how it appeared. Melissa says exactly Three of a Kind. Christian says Raymond Burr, Ironside. This too shall pass, move on. Didn't look like SW was ever involved with the girls with toys or parks or anything other than those lives about that damn product. She probably broke the doll's head because she didn't want to play. I thought it was interesting that Christopher Watt's mother-in-law wrote in her letter to the police that, the vacation over the summer was to, spend that time together before the girls started up again with school and with dance class. Really? Dance class? Did you see one photo with those girls in dance class? I didn't. School? I think it's called daycare. Angie, I know, Ironside. Grace, Anaconda. Oh my goodness. Robin, good one. Loved Ironside. That was a good show. And Perry Mason before. Perry Mason was on years before Ironside. And that was also very good. There was always a Perry Mason moment. I think Perry Mason probably had a lot of us wanting to go to law school when we were kids. Rebecca, I don't take offense to people thinking a snake is evil. It's in human DNA to fear them. Plus, I think it's in a lot of the teachings too, the stories. So I think probably we hear stories, I mean, it's in Genesis, right? I think we hear Bible stories about it and go, ooh, snake, bad. The red car, I know, Ironside. Grace loved Ironside. Marina of Arizona, scorpions are fluorescent. Scorpions are effing scary, according to Kay Cooper. I had one in my kitchen one night when I lived in Louisiana. I pissed myself. I thought it was like a miniature alligator, but I was a kid. I was really little. And I remember my grandmother would tell people that I thought it was a miniature alligator. Abby says scorpions glow like crazy under a black light, makes them very easy to find. Ah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Carol, I must have been snoring when I hit the letter P. Too bad your microphone isn't on, Carol. We could use it. We could use a laugh. Danielle, we had pink scorpions come out of the sink drains in Florida. OMG. I had what's it called? With all those little legs. I think it was a centipede. It was a monster centipede when I lived in Southern Maryland. It was a monster centipede. Like huge. That sucker was a monster. And that absolutely freaked me out. And even just telling you about it right now, I'm still freaking out. It was so huge. And then I murdered it. I didn't actually murder it myself, but I had somebody murder it for me. And it was so huge that it truly was murdering the centipede. It wasn't just a bug. It wasn't just squashing a bug. That sucker was a monster. I never went barefoot there. Never. That centipede was like right when I moved in. Oh my goodness. It was huge. And it just I never went barefoot, like anywhere. In the yard, in the drive, anywhere. Never. Melissa said, Danielle, that sounds like a Stephen King novel. Terrifying. Kay Cooper says, no damn way, Danielle. Hell no. I'm sorry, but they freak me out. I love what we talk about in a true crime case discussion group. Snakes, vibrators, scorpions. Oops, I lost where we are. Okay, I'm going to zip further. Let's see. Because I lost where we are anyway. So let's see. Kathy Joe, you can buy frozen alligator in Walmart. Oh my goodness. Yes, Boomtown. How big was the centipede? It was so huge. It was like a monster centipede. And I had a very good looking, by the way, knight in shining armor who murdered it for me. PJ says, sun spider bit me. I dislike spiders and so many other creatures. Angie says, vibrators. I'm a Clover says, cake, ice cream, and lime, no better treat. I'm doing salmon and coffee. I like your treat better than mine. Maria says, maybe it was a millipede. Okay, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Instead of 100, it'd be, what is it? I don't know. Is that 1,000 or a million? A centipede's 100, right? I don't know. Maybe it was a megapede. It was so big. Cosmo says, CC, in my opinion, image of SR. I'm a Clover says, my hubby said, ew. All Short says, can someone trustworthy send Miss Mensa my details so I can be on next panel? I don't know what that means. Everybody's welcome on panel, All Short. All you have to do is click on the link. Melissa says, thank you, Mensa, for taking the time and going through each comment individually. You sure, blah, blah, blah. You sure do a great job. by making every guest feel included and their opinion valued. Aw, Melissa, that's sweet. I'm skipping them now, though, because I'm way too slow. A dedipede? Yes, it was a murdered apede. Murdered apede. That sucker was huge. I mean, he was so huge, I think he had a personality, and just imagine, they talk to each other, right? So he's probably like, they're going to murder me. Go get her. This too shall pass. Move on. Says probably a millipede. It was huge. It was a monster, absolute monster. Orange Cat says, thought provoking said that we never did see photos of the birthday party at the aquarium. You know what? I think she's right. The all important party, right? So important that she had to be harassing her mother in law. People think that it was just some kind of little dispute or, the whole nut routine. No. Ronnie and Cindy were still going to go, even after the nut meltdown. They were still going to go, but then right before the birthday party, because there were a few days there where they left her alone, they left Cindy alone. And then right before the birthday party, it started up again with all the abuse and harassment. And I'm telling you, Ronnie and Cindy didn't do anything wrong in choosing not to go to that birthday party. That shows more love for those children than anything, in my opinion, that their mother ever showed. Just my opinion. Sharon says, I agree, Melissa. There's a lot of comments to go through. Melissa says, all short. She just drops the link when she goes live and you simply click on it. Jessica says, Melissa, thank you. Sharon says, well, it's 5 a.m. I have coffee and custard creams. Oh, my goodness. You guys have better treats than me. I'm a Clover says, super sweet, Melissa, and true. Melissa's a sweetie, isn't she? Oop, I skipped past there. Where am I? Orange Cat, the aquarium birthday party was talked about in the hair clip video. Angie, yes, thank you for these awesome lives. Lots of love. Melissa, who, Kathy Joe? Shakur, Cindy and Ronnie still sent a gift to Cece, which was returned to them thanks to their mother. Exactly. And I have a question. Wasn't it returned to them by ding, 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 N-A? Am I right? Does anybody know? I think it was N-A who SW said, send it back. Carol says, my sister had those centipedes in her basement. So many that an exterminator had to go. I'm telling you, that is just the grossest thing. The grossest thing. Abby, I'm going to have nightmares about your centipede, Mensa. Well, only if you live in southern Maryland. That's where it was. And in fairness to the insect world, that's the only one I saw. So that's not too bad. I'll tell you, my knight in shining armor who murdered the centipede for me, was he ever hot? Oh my goodness. Such a nice young kid. You know how there are just some people who are just really good looking, right? Healthy, intelligent. He was an engineer, no less. He was very cool. I really appreciated him. He was very polite, He didn't like mock me for not wanting to murder it myself. He was very protective, so that's cool. All short says, how are Cindy and Rodney? All short, are you brand new to the case? He is single, yes. He is single, and he is really a nice kid. Nice kid. If I knew any young women in their, I would say early 30s, I would definitely be saying, hey, you should move to Southern Maryland. Not only is he really like such a decent person, but he comes from a really good family, a very close and loving family, just a nice bunch of people. Oh, 42? Wait, yep, 42. Yeah, he's jailbait. But I'll tell you know, when a young kid treats an older lady with such respect, it's so nice. I mean, obviously, it should be the norm, and it is the norm for the most part, right? But when they're kind of over the top, very respectful. I made a comment one time when we were just hanging out. I said, man, I'm so old. I can't believe how fast time flies, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're not old. And I loved it. He's like, you're not old. Like, yes, I am, right? But he's that kind of a kid. You're not old. And then, anytime I'd say, oh my gosh, and he'd always have an encouraging word, always upbeat, always just really, and just so respectful. He's the type of kid that if you are pulling in with groceries, he's rushing right there to make sure that he's going to grab the groceries and hold the doors. The world needs more men like him for sure. I got to tell you too, when I first moved there, I moved in with one of the other commissioners who offered, when I was appointed. And I'm like, sure, thank you so much, because how wonderful is that to not have to worry, when I first get there. And he was actual he was actually not heterosexual. And I would dare say that if you're not heterosexual, that he also is like just the nicest kid, you know, also in his 30s, just just a nice kid, very smart too. He had really good experience with the court, super smart. He probably knew more than all the rest of us there combined. Orange Cat says the aquarium was different from North Carolina, two different videos. When was the aquarium? Was that with the daycare? Because I think the video that I saw, people were saying that was the daycare video. Oh, Chastity's pretty close. 38. You might be a couple years older. That's not bad. Virginia, seriously? No kidding. You're probably quite close, because I actually went into Virginia on my way. You know what I mean? On the Beltway, right? All of a sudden, I'm entering Virginia going, what? When did I make the wrong turn? But I didn't. That's just how you get there. You'll have to email me, Chastity. I'm sure he'd appreciate that, right? If I said, hey, I have some women on my live chat who want to meet you. Probably safer than Tinder. But no kidding, if you have a centipede, he's the man. Orange Cat, the aquarium was different from North Carolina. 2 different videos. Was that the one where she comes up and I think Cece had a cupcake or something? I'm a Clover, and her army came running to coddle her. Jane Doe, aw. Abby, Ronnie and Cindy should be canonized for dealing with SW for 8 years and canonized for dealing with the crap for the last 2.5. In my opinion. Call her daddy. I'm 34. Orange Cat. Lots of love, Abby. Cosmic. That's hard to find. My son is like that. Good guy. Misty. Aw, he sounds like a sweetheart. He is. And he's hot, too. He's not just like really cool. He's hot. That sounds kind of weird saying that about a young guy like that, but he's really hot. He's really a good-looking kid. Okay, Trisha says, I am trying to make sense of why would Shanann have killed those kids if she did. Well, why do you think, Trisha? Can you think of any reasons? All short, I need a boyfriend. I think we're doxing ourselves here, you guys. I'm a Clover. I was shocked some of the comments, though. Not all of them did. Abby, isn't lots of love laugh out loud? But I like lots of love much more. Cute. Abby, maybe before you got to chat, there was, I can't remember who, I'm sorry. I can't remember who shared this. That I think it was her mother-in-law thought that LOL meant lots of love. So she sent a text message that said, Grandma is not doing well, LOL. And then we started laughing. It was funny. Melissa, all short, you may want a boyfriend, but you sure as hell don't need a boyfriend. Good point, Melissa, good point. Free of a kind. Chastity, I thought your comment said I'm 38 and a virgin. Lots of love. Melissa, lots of love. Yes, Abby, but I love Miss Mensa's version. Ashley, hey, Miss Mensa, in chat. I'm back. Hi, Ashley. I'm a Clover. At first they did. Anyone who cares about mommy, get on here now. Huh? I don't get that. Ashley, hi, my friend. Hi, Ashley. Free of a kind. LMAO. Hey, Ashy. Good night, MM. Good night, PJ. God bless. Hey, Ashley. Sweet dreams, PJ. Okay, is anyone else getting tired? Boomtown. If Shanann killed the girls, why didn't CW do anything like calling 911 or trying CPR? He packed lunch and water for himself and disposed of their bodies in an oil battery. He killed them. Well, Boomtown, guess what? There are many of us who believe that when he left for work, and I say many this week because last week there were only 2 of us that I knew of, but there are many more because once you say that in a discussion, then other people who agree with you email you and say, that's what I think too. There are many of us who believe that when he packed his lunch and water and packed lunches for the girls and left for work, that he didn't know there was anything wrong. All short says, I love a hot guy. Oh, goodness. Angie says, lots of love. Jane Doe says, I saw something the other day that said, I taught my mom that WTF means, wow, that's fantastic. Now my texts from my mom are so much more interesting. I love it. I love it. I'm a Clover. Aw. Oh, goodness. You guys are funny tonight. Bob says, I think others dispose of the bodies. I do too, Bob. I believe that is true. Shakir says, I'm 43 and been single for a bit. It's easier. Too many crazies out there. Exactly. I'm a Clover. How long y'all been on here? Too long, I'm a Clover, because I'm getting really tired. So we're gonna be saying goodnight here shortly. Oh my goodness. Ashley says, I think Laura was telling us W she was being hard on Bella because SW would always tell her, "Oh, Laura, she's fine. It's tough love." Wow. What's with this tough love crap? I've heard the tough love thing going in this case that I think, yeah, right. Tough love or just abuse. Boomtown says, "What's the theory about who, if not CW, dumped the girls?" Well, what do you think, Boomtown? Good night, White Rabbit. Oh, White Rabbit's telling Melissa good night. I thought he said Mensa. I'm getting tired, you guys. Hope she doesn't text her boss. WTF. Lots of love. Jane Doe, probably orchestrated by SR, but then done by NA's husband. I can't think of many people that would have it in them to put babies in an oil tank. I just don't believe that Christopher Watts put his baby girls in an oil tank. I don't believe it. Bob says, my wife watched that crazy on Facebook long before her death. She wanted to start that Thrive, and I put a stop to it fast. She was sent the free samples, and I threw them away. Bob, I have a question, and please don't answer if you feel uncomfortable answering this. But was your wife in a support group for some sort of an illness? And did that crazy tell your wife that she had the same illness? Because that's what we're hearing, is that she would go to these Facebook support groups and claim she had the same illness, and that the MLM products somehow cured her or put her in remission. Abby says, I wonder if a certain company strong-armed CW into taking responsibility, because if others were on oil property, that would be a big issue. I doubt it. I doubt it. Melissa says, Abby, I think it has something to do with it. What did Abby say? Let me see here. Abby said, I wonder if Anadarko strong-arm. And Melissa said, I think it had something to do with it. All Short says, I'm tired and going to bed, but CW killed his family. Well, that's according to All Short. Good night, All Short. I'm glad you were here. Boomtown, NA's husband? Melissa, Abby, I think it has something to do with it. I already read that. I'm a Clover. Bob, really? Interesting. Betty, Miss Mensa, you're like me when I get tired. I get silly and laugh a lot. Ashley, Abby, I think so too. Valid question, Mensa. Good question, MM. I think the vomit found at the tanks was because he got sick when he realized the girls had been put in the tanks. Or maybe even right at first when people showed up, he may have just fallen to his knees and gotten sick. Yes, support group for lupus. My wife's doctor flat out told her, no, you cannot take it. So, okay, let's get this straight then. So your wife was approached by her in a Facebook support group for lupus, and she probably was like, oh, this can help you. It helped me. And then she somehow got your wife's address, right, to send her the sample. We had somebody on the panel a few weeks back who watched her get kicked out of at least 4 Facebook groups for telling lupus sufferers that she was in remission because of the products. And they kept telling her to stop it, and she didn't stop it at all. And then she started private messaging people. And when they found out, they booted her out. And the person we had up on the panel said she watched while she got booted out of 4 different lupus support groups for breaking their rules. Not to mention it's against the rules and against the law for companies like that to be promoting any products claiming they can cure or that they can offer any health benefits at all. Ashley says 3 of a kind. It was Laura. That's the one I think said things to SW about it, but SW blew her off. You could tell Laura was saying something, but SW would say, she's fine, tough love. Tough love how? Like I said, more like abuse. Melissa says, of course, All Short, as long as it's respectful. Bob says, yes, then she was told she could help her. So she started watching her. She was even calling my wife, so I had to change her number. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. You know what, Bob? One of these days, hop up on our panel and tell us if you feel like it. That would be interesting to hear what you have to say. Melissa, I don't necessarily agree with all short, but we have good discussions. Yes, we do. I like it when we don't agree, Melissa. I think the John Bonet. I think we gotta do John Bonet's case again. Like we should do that one. Like, well, not for a few weeks actually, but maybe like in March or something. We can have a Melissa and Mensa John Bonet chat because it would be good for me too if I could like read up on it more because I don't remember half of it. To be honest, I don't know. Like the brother thing, I know I feel really bad for the brother. That I think he's really kind of getting a raw deal. I wish he wouldn't have gone on Dr. Phil's show either. I don't think that did him any favors. I'm a Clover. Shakur, yes, mini experience. Ashley, Shakur, I didn't know you sent one. Ashley, what's your email? Oh, sure, it would be respectful. I'm that you do, Melissa. I love it. Shakur, Ashley sent to a video you have in your channel in the comment section. What? Bob, not kidding. Yeah, that'd be really cool to have you up on panel sometime. Melissa, lots of love. Thanks, Clover. I'm still trying to figure out what my opinion is. Chastity. Bob, I'm sorry you and your wife had to deal with that. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. It's terrible. If this is the case that they had to change their phone number because Christopher Watt's wife wouldn't leave his wife, or yeah, Christopher Watt's wife wouldn't leave Bob's wife alone. Are you kidding? And we're talking about a woman whose doctor said, do not take that, do not have that. And I guess that answer wasn't good enough, right? Oh, this is ridiculous. Melissa, yes, I will come prepared for a John Bonet discussion. No, I don't want you to prepare, Melissa. No, that's not what I said. I want to prepare because if you're any more prepared than you already are, I don't stand a chance. I'm going to be convicting Patsy before the night is over. I'm a Clover. Melissa, same here. This case, phew. Three of a kind. Bob, you definitely need to hop up on the panel sometime and tell us more. Yes, Bob, I agree. Okay, just a couple more messages here. Let's see. There was one. Boomtown. Miss M, your theory goes SW killed the girls, then herself. NA and son covered up. The whole time CW had no idea what happened in the house and just went on his merry way to Serby? Boomtown, tell me your opinion. Tell me your theory. Dig in, research, and tell me what you think, and tell me why. That's how we do discussion. Melissa, LOL, or I'm sorry, lots of love. I wrote that comment before you said you wanting to prep yourself. Yeah, you don't need to prep, okay? Let's be clear. I'm the one who needs to prep. You just go off the top of your head, okay? It'll be like that'll give me the handicap, okay? James says, unfortunately, when Chris watched his parents pass away, the case will go into oblivion. I bet his parents are going to live for another 20 years at least. Did you know that Chris's family has longevity going for it? And that whole idea that his wife was going to try to save his life because she cared about him not getting diabetes. According to Cindy Watts, diabetes doesn't even run in his family. So that was all a bunch of bunko that his wife was trying to convince him he was going to die of diabetes. Orange Cat, the CBS documentary convinced me that John Bonet's brother did it. John Bonet's brother didn't do it, Orange Cat. All short. Good night. Gonna Boomtown. I think he killed everybody and took 30 minutes to load them on his truck and went to Serbia to dispose of their bodies. Wow. Yeah, I don't. Bob, thank you for your condolences. I am really against these people who push things on others. Well, and I would dare say dangerous things on others. If you have somebody who has lupus, who actually has lupus, and then you have some pushy chick who won't take no for an answer, that's not okay. She's breaking the rules of the groups, the support groups, and I believe she was preying on vulnerable people, breaking the rules and breaking the law to claim health benefits from those products. This is a serious thing. If she's doing it, is that how her downline's doing it? Is that how her upline taught her to do it? How many people are doing it? You know, I hope that all of the MLMs that she belonged to are taking a look and saying, hey, wait a minute. If this crap is true, we need to do a better job of training people, right, on these sales training weekends. Maybe they should be expecting them to actually show up for the training instead of sitting all day in the hotel room. Kay Cooper, I'm so against that stuff too, Bob. Betty, James, yes it will. Shakur, Blake Ramsey. I don't think his name was Blake. What was his name? It wasn't Blake, was it? No. What was his name? Does anyone know? Received a big check from CBS over the allegations about his alleged involvement. Shakur, that man, Mr. Ramsey, couldn't care less about a check from CBS. Money is not an issue with the Ramseys at all. Jane Doe, I agree. His parents look healthy mentally, physically, emotionally. Only horrible thing they have going for them is a tragedy that happened to them. SR and FR look like the cigarettes. And yes, he did Shakur. Stacy says, Boomtown, seems like you watch too much TV, form your own opinions. Jane Doe, alcohol has begun to take its toll. Orange Cat, it was a great documentary. Too tired to give reasons. James says, is Watts still in Dodge? Who knows? We have no reason to believe he isn't. Ashley, James Smith, yes. Misty, SW was a con artist, not a super salesman like the media paints her. I agree with you, Misty. Boomtown, what's your opinion, Stacy? Melissa, Burke, that's it, not Blake, it's Burke. Thank you, Melissa. See what I mean? You don't need to prepare. I need to prepare. Angie, didn't she get in trouble with Thrive for doing that? I bet not. She probably got her picture in a magazine. Burke. Yes, Kathy Joe. Thank you. I knew it wasn't Blake. Because when I think of Blake, I think of two Blakes. Can you guys guess who the Blakes are that I would think of? Try to guess. Give me the names of two Blakes that Mensa would think of when she sees the name Blake. One is the man's real name. The other one is another man, but that's the name of the role he played in a what would it be called? Like a nighttime soap opera. Okay, I'm going to mute this for a second because my dog went outside again. So I have to let my dog in. He goes out, goes all the way around the house, and then he comes right by where I am with the computer and taps on the door. So I'll be right back. But try to name the two Blakes that I would think of if I think of the name Blake. I'm back. You guys are absolutely right. It's Robert Blake is one of them. That's the real life one. Blake Shelton is a really good guess, but that's not the second one. But that is a good guess. Robert Blake is the real life one. Yes, you got it, Private Pirate. You got it. Blake Carrington. That's too funny. Isn't that funny? Good one, Robin. You guys got it. Exactly. Good job. So you guys must have that name on the tip of your tongue too then, right? When you hear the name Blake? Now he was hot too, wasn't he? For an old guy. Who was that? John Forsythe, I think? Yes. So even when we're all tired. Okay, here's a quick true crime question. Do you think Robert Blake killed his wife? Ashley said, Google her. She was even on her local news for scamming. Who was? Who was Ashley? So you think that Robert Blake killed his wife? Lavina says, yes, he did. This too shall pass. Yes. Yep. Cosmo. Who are you guys talking about? Oh. You mean Bonnie Lee? Got it. Okay, yes. She had like that mail order thing going on. Yep. She's the one who started the cops were at the Watts home the other day. Was that Natasha? Or who? Who started it? Yes, his wife had a bunch of PO boxes and she would send pictures to men for money. I don't think he was a suspect, was he? I don't think he was a suspect at all. She couldn't figure out if the baby was his or Robert Blake's. Okay. Yeah, she wanted to be famous. Right, Cosmo. I think she did. I think she did. Okay, let's see. How about we all say goodnight? Oh, I didn't know that, Orange Cat. I didn't know that at all. That'd be a good case for us to discuss sometime. Yeah, we should say goodnight. I mean, I love to talk, as we have noticed, but I'm getting tired. Time for bed. Okay, let's all say goodnight, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, Grandma. Good night, Australia. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good week. Work hard. Be safe. Be healthy, be happy, and know that LOL means lots of love.